This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Mike, today's Sunday. The Masters is going on for golf right now. It's the final day, right? And I was just thinking about something while I was watching the Masters Sunday. Imagine if bowling had the coverage that golf did.
Imagine if bowling had the prizes that golf did.
Well, I mean, I'm more of like it's so interesting of a dynamic between the two sports in bowling and golf, because golf is not a very interesting sport to watch, and neither is bowling, right? Yet thousands of people, millions of people watch the Masters for golf, and they have literally like hours and hours of coverage on Saturday, Sunday, obviously Thursday, Friday qualifying. But I mean, today, like golf has been on. Like I've been watching it like for like 4 or 5 hours. Like I mean, I'm doing other things right with the house. I'm cleaning up. I'm barbecuing. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. But like, imagine if bowling was on for like 5 hours on a Sunday. Like, I mean, would people? It's just amazing to me how people could watch golf for 5 hours. But if you told someone to watch bowling for 5 hours, they'd be like, "Oh my god, like that's terrible." I mean, it's just interesting to me how the two sports are similar yet are have different perceptions from the general public.
Yeah, what do you expect me to say in response to that? I don't know. I mean, at one time it was reversed. At one time, bowling was the more popular and more widely watched sport than golf. You know, and now golf. I mean, it's not even in the same stratosphere. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I don't understand all the hype over the golf. I really don't. I understood it when Tiger Woods was at his peak, and I understood the attraction to the game that he brought. He brought many people into watching. I totally get that. I was likely one of those people, but I don't get the attraction to golf at this point now. Like I don't, you know.
it really is though a true game of skill. I mean, if you really hit the ball solid, unless there's some bad wind or a bird like hits your ball while it's like in air, it's really a true game of skill. When bowling, yes, is a game of skill, but there's so many outside external factors that affect bowling that doesn't golf, right?
No. There's a lot of external factors that affect golf as well.
Not as much as bowling though, because bowling, the difference and I don't want to get into this because we got a whole World Series, but bowling, like you could throw the best shot and leave a stone 8 or a stone 9 or a stone 10 on the worst possible time in a tournament, right? Golf, if you hit the ball really solid and you make a really good shot, you're probably going to see great results. Bowling, on the other hand, there is some more, I would say, more luck involved in bowling. And then you have the lane man, and then you have the external factors. So I don't know. Look, I could talk in the pro shop and at dinner, at the bar, for hours the difference between golf and bowling. But as a bowler, when I'm watching the Masters and I'm watching hours of it, it's hard not to start comparing like what bowling could have done differently to get to that level that golf is at.
Could you imagine some of the great fryouts we would see live on TV if bowling got the kind of coverage that golf got? I mean, we would see guys probably ripping shirts, destroying bowling bags, zippers flying everywhere. I mean, there'd be some good fryouts for sure. Could you also imagine some of the bowlers making like millions of dollars for a tournament win? Like, could you imagine somebody like DJ Archer winning a cool like 2 mil for a big win, and like what that scene would be like if that was a regular thing on the PBA tour, like PBA tour guys flying around in private jets, like private jets lined up on the tarmac outside these towns where they're bowling the tournaments in. I
Yeah,
just it's hilarious. It's funny. It's hilarious
wild.
to me.
I
You
know.
know,
Which is funny because they probably thought like that. Golf fans thought like that probably like in the 70s. Imagine if golf was really that big. Like, I mean,
Tom
you know,
Smallwood walking out to the private jet, getting on the getting on the private jet, eating caviar and champagne on the way to the next bowling tournament. It would be wild.
and you know what's funny? Knowing Bill, his life would probably be exactly the same it is.
No, no way, no way. Not if we're talking golf money. No way, bro. No way. I
You
mean,
don't think so? I don't think he would spend crazy.
oh, no way. Like those guys are in a different stratosphere, bro. Like it would be so different. It would be. We'd probably all be working for him. As a matter of fact, like we wouldn't be doing this. We'd be his social media person or his club specialist or something. We'd find
We
some kind of role.
we we definitely would be public relations. I'll tell you that
No,
much.
no,
Like,
we would
no,
not be
that's
public relations.
we'd be more like marketing than we would be public relations.
We'd probably be good at heckler control. You know,
Security
right?
slash
No,
heckler
not really
control.
security. He'd have to have like professional security, but we would be heckler patrol, where like we would roam the course while he plays, and anyone that says a bad word about him, we immediately start booing them, heckling them back. You know, run them off the course like that. I could picture that being our role.
Dude,
Um,
so
yeah,
many
but
different roles.
yeah, it is. It is amazing, though. It is an amazing thought, you know, to kind of supplant the two, and think about what it would be like if bowling were in that position. But yeah, it's like you said, not something we can get too deep into. But yeah, maybe in the off season, that's something we can put on our list of things to bring up. But Rob, it's the best week in bowling. Jeff Rickles loves to correct me on Twitter and say 2 weeks. People know what I mean. It's the best week, 2 weeks, whatever you want to call it, in bowling. It's the World Series. We got nonstop bowling action this week on Bowl TV. We got nonstop action on FS1 and Fox next week. And yeah, that's why I call it the best week in bowling.
Oh God. No, it's not the best week in bowling. It's a great week
Oh,
in bowling, but it's
hold
not
on,
the best week in
hold on
bowling.
a minute. Hold on 1 minute. 1 minute. People are saying big money corporations behind golf. All bowling has PBR and Bolero. Okay, well, I would say that Bolero is a big money corporation. Number one, and number two, I would say, what do bowlers not spend money? Are you telling me bowlers don't spend the same money as golfers? I mean, generally speaking, I would say that they probably do. So fair point though. Fair point. I hear you there. All right, but go ahead, Rob. Best week in bowling.
I wouldn't say it's the best week in bowling or best 2 weeks in bowling. I'd say it's like a great weeks in bowling. I mean, I technically think the US Open is always the best week of bowling, even though it's one tournament. I think the Masters is the second best week in bowling. And I could put the World Series maybe above the other two majors. But the US Open and the Masters to me are always the two best weeks of bowling. But
Well, you're
we agree to
wrong.
disagree.
You're wrong, and that's a terrible take. Because yeah, this is the best week or two in bowling. Multiple titles awarded. World Championship is the culmination. You also have the USA versus the world on the side, which is an interesting side event. So
I
yeah,
don't care. I'd rather have a US Open title than a regular title and a World Championship title. I just like the prestige of it. I
I
don't.
mean, you know,
I
this is
disagree.
this is quite possibly the hardest major to win. And you got to bowl 60 games of qualifying, 12 games of match play, 72 games, against the best on four different patterns. Sorry. So I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I stand behind my enthusiasm for the World Series always.
I think
Uh,
uh, I think Nico brings a good point though in the chat, and I want to bring that up
he
because
does.
um he says every single year they change the damn format of the World Series. I don't know what it is year to year. I mean, it's pretty common that they do that. And I
Yeah.
don't mind the change, Mike, because we always talk about like improving the tournament, right? Like not afraid to make changes. But I agree with Nico. I don't even I'm on the website trying to figure out what the format is, the next 2 weeks.
So I'll say this. I think that in past years, when we saw a condensed format, particularly for some of the pattern tournaments, I think it was because they were trying to get it done in a certain amount of time. I think that that's less of an issue now because you have tournaments on the back end of the World Series. So guys that come for the World Series are likely going to stay for these events that take place on the back end, right? And I'll also say that out of all the formats that they've had at the World Series, I think I might actually like this one the best because I think it rewards the best bowling over the longest amount of time. 20 games on each pattern, 3 pattern. I mean, that's a lot of games.
Well, let me go through the schedule here so
Okay.
everybody understands it because I know a lot of people don't understand it. So the qualifying started today for Cheetah. So they're running 10 games of qualifying today. They're actually probably bowling right now, I would
They
imagine.
are.
Um, it's in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. So it's 3 hours ahead of me. So yeah, they're bowling right now. Cheetah, second block of 5 games. Tomorrow, they bowl 10 more qualifying games. So ultimately, each animal pattern is 20 games of qualifying. That is a freaking lot of qualifying, Mike. Um,
Well, Terry Runyon in the chat is saying, is it still the World Series of
no,
sweepers?
not
And
looking it up.
no, it's not. And that honestly, that's what I like about
Right.
this format change because again, I think it rewards the best bowling over the longest stretches of time. Right.
But here's the
So
thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Now I'm just reading it because I'm trying to get a full understanding of it. There's no semifinals.
no,
So essentially it's like a 20-game marathon
it is.
tournament.
And the top 5 go to the show
Yeah, which will be aired next week on
next
April
week.
17th.
Right.
So so consider just every animal pattern a 20-game marathon. And with no match play, no anything that really is just straight qualifying games. Oh my god. The big Simo and Tackett and Belmore are going absolutely gotta love this format. Um,
Yeah,
okay.
interestingly, the results today to me were very interesting, especially in terms of the format like you're talking about. But again, it was only 5 games out of the 20. So yeah, you still have a long way to go even in this Cheetah Championship. But I do like that. Some people are not going to like that format change because there's no match play, there's no matches, there's no best of, and I understand that. I hear that perspective for sure. But again, trying to reward the best bowling over the longest amount of time, I'm okay with these format changes. I like them. I think it's good. So Rob, that's going to repeat itself, right?
So Tuesday the 11th will go Scorpion qualifying, Wednesday qualifying, and then so that's done. So 2 days Cheetah, 2 days Scorpion. The next show, the Scorpion show will be April 18th. Thursday they go to Shark, so that's 20 more games Thursday and Friday, 10 games on Thursday, 10 games on Friday, and then they go to the Shark Championship, top 5 FS1 Wednesday, April 19th. So after those 3 animal
60
patterns,
games, right? 60
60
games
games,
cut to the top 12 overall.
top 12 overall for the World Championships.
Right.
We'll get to the World Championships, but the next weekend is the USA versus the World is on the shows. The Saturday show is on Big Fox at 1:30 p.m. I'm assuming that's 1:30 East Coast time. Um, Big Fox Saturday, April 15th. Sunday, April 16th, USA versus the World Finals is on FS1. So they bounce back to FS1 people, and that's at 11 a.m., which I crazy. I think that's got to be 8 a.m. for my time. Talk about eating breakfast, watching bowling, which I'm fine with. After all that is done, then they go into the World Championship practice Monday the 17th. And then the Cheetah finals are live on FS1 on 6 p.m. Monday 17th. Tuesday 18th, it goes to the World Championship practice, and then the Scorpion Championship finals So it's going practice session finals, practice session finals, practice session finals. For which is crazy. They're actually giving them 3 practice sessions, Mike, on the same pattern. It looks like Earl Anthony, 43 foot. And then so it's a lot of practice. These guys are bowling a lot, Mike.
Yeah,
In
they're
2 weeks.
probably optional.
I'm not saying they're
It's probably
mandatory,
just
but
something. It's probably just for the guys that make it, that want to get out there and throw it.
if I was living in Wauwatosa, I would just ask them if I could bowl in the practice session so I get some work in,
Right.
on the patterns. Okay, so the big World Championship starts Thursday, April 20th. So it goes to match play, top 12 match play, 6 games at 9 a.m. Thursday. Then it goes 6 games at 1:30, so 12 games on Thursday, and then after 72 games, so assume all the games carry over, Mike. So total 72 games. Top 5 players advance to the live finals Sunday, April 23rd, at 11 a.m. on Big Fox. So yeah, what is the World Championship? Wait a sec, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I screwed that up. Yes, that's right. April 23rd is when the big show is. Um, they're Saturday. They just do practice at noon, TV pair practice at 1 p.m. More TV pair practice, and then the finals are on April 23rd. Crazy, Mike. It is a lot of bowling. I'm very excited about it. Bowl TV those guys are going to be putting in some work. Flanagan and crew are going to be putting in some work, some hours the next 2 weeks. That's for sure. But yeah, exciting time. Bet Rivers always coming in with the solid bets right now. They got bets and futures for pretty much every animal pattern, including cheetah right now. After the first 5 games, you were able to revamp your bets. So yeah,
Bet Rivers coming in super clutch with the offerings in New Jersey now.
Thank God.
So I'm a free agent now, Rob. I'm putting in my own bets. So let's talk some bets, shall we?
Sure.
All right, let's talk world. Go ahead.
There's a default here. I'm going to cut you off here, okay? Every pattern you bowl, every tournament ever going forward for the next year, right? You have to bet EJ Tackett, Anthony Simonson, and Jason Belmonte. That's it. That. If you bet those 3 players at the beginning of the tournament, and you're getting plus 500 and plus 600 odds on those players before the tournament starts, you have to mandatory default to put a bet in those 3 players.
I disagree. I think that
why?
that those 3 players, their odds are low enough that to bet consistently on all 3 of them is not something I'm going to do.
It's a good plus 500.
I know, but here's what I'm saying though: you have other bets that you're going to want to put in too. So,
I'm not saying that's in order
to get a decent payoff on a Simo, Belmo, EJ bet, you're going to have to bet 50 or so, right?
No.
To get a decent payoff. Otherwise you're looking at a payoff that's just going to cover your bets. Even like for me, if I bet 20 on Simo, EJ, and Belmo, and one of them hits, I'm probably not even going to break even for my week of betting.
Well, it depends what kind of crazy ass bets you're putting in.
Well, I'm putting in small bets on a lot of other players. Whereas to me, in this type of betting, I'm looking for a good payoff. Now I'm definitely going to ride at least one of those guys with a decent sized bet to try and cover my losses if the other long shots don't work out, which is exactly what happened to me at the Masters, Rob, right? Simo won. I had Simo, I think for $10 or $20. It was my high, whatever it was my highest bet that I put in. And that hit, and it basically covered my losses for the rest of the week. And I ended up breaking even for the week.
See, that's, you're kind of close to my strategy is you're putting your bets in the big 3. I call them the big 3. You're putting the bets in to break out even, essentially.
I just think
trying
if
to
you
make
bet on,
money on the
I
bigger
know, but
odds.
if you bet on all three of them, I think it makes it harder to do that. I'll say that.
No, if you bet the big three and you hit, let's just say you put $10 on Simo, $10 on Tackett, and $10 on uh, Belmonte. One of them wins, you're probably getting back like 60 to like $80, right? Where the odds have been sitting right now, right? So that gives you about $40 to $50 of a difference to play around with the plus like 300 to 1 odds and plus 200 to 1 odds. And you could put like $3 on, $5 on there, $3 on there, spread the wealth out for the really long shot odds. Now, of course, you want those to hit, but you're kind of hedging by betting the big three is kind of what
I
I'm saying.
agree. I'm not betting all three at the same time. All right, let's talk bets. Let's talk actual bets here. I'll give you a rundown of what I put in so far. You can do the same, and then we'll talk about what things we might like going forward, other things we've seen that we think we might like. So
Well, you put in like 100 people, so are you just going to
I
list
put
out
in a
100
lot of
times?
bets so far. I did. I when I saw it was available in New Jersey this morning,
Yeah, you got a little crazy.
I
Huh?
threw $100 in there and went through it like that South Park episode where they're like, "It's here," and then it's gone. It was pretty much like that where it disappeared almost as soon as I put it in the account. But I'll give you a rundown of what I got. All right, I got now. This is to win the World Championship. Okay,
Yeah,
these are
I
the
don't have
bets I
those
put in
odds anymore. Yeah,
to
they
win
took
the
those
World
down.
Championship. I got Chris Prather. Okay, for $15 to win two at 13 plus 1,300, 15 to win 210. Okay. I got Jason Sterner at plus 3,300, $10 to win 340. I got PJ Haggerty, shout to our guy, at plus 15,000, $3 to win 453. I got Greg Tack to win the World Championship.
Oh my
Okay.
God!
Shout to
Come
my
on,
guy.
Mike.
Shout
Mike,
to my
what?
guy.
Okay, stop. Okay, I don't. This no, dude.
Well,
No wonder why.
I'm just telling the people what bets I put out.
Well, okay.
I bet $1. I bet $1 on Tack to win
Put 100
700.
on Greg Tack. Put 100 on Greg Tack. All right.
Why would I do that? I mean,
Oh
$1 at
my
plus
God.
75,000 to win
Oh my.
750.
Oh
Oh
Lord. Okay,
man,
keep going.
I got Pascal Winterheimer at $1 to win 500. I got Karsten Hansen at $1 to win 400.
Oh my God.
I got Kevin Williams. Okay,
Worst of the week. You just
$3.
won worst of the week betting on Greg.
$3 to win 303. And then I got Simonson for 20 to win 140. Okay, so
See,
I took Simonson
I can
because
get behind that.
to me he's bowling the best right now. He's the most versatile. They're bowling on different patterns. So to me, I kind of if anybody's going to emerge out of those big three, I would kind of expect it to be him right now. Henry in the chat saying I might as well buy lottery tickets. I understand, guys. I get it. Listen, I'm friends with Tack. Okay,
Yeah,
he's bowling the tournament. I'm friends with
what does it
Bill. I'm going
matter?
to bet on him whether I think it's
No.
great or not.
See, that's your
I bet
problem, Mike.
$1. I bet $1.
That's your
It's just to
problem.
show love, people.
No, you're betting. You're
Spread
betting.
love. It's the Brooklyn way. That's
No,
what
you
I
bet.
like to do, bro.
No,
You
you're
see
betting.
Biggie behind me right here?
No,
Come
no.
on.
You're betting with your heart. You're not betting with your brain.
I know, but it's
I'm a
only
New York Jets
$1.
fan. I'm a New York Jets fan. I never bet on the Jets because I'm
Oh,
not
you
stupid.
cheap asses!
I'm not
You
stupid.
cheap asses!
No.
It's only $1. Stop crying. It's $3. Stop crying.
So
I put a
bad.
bet in on PJ and Greg Tack. Everybody calm down. Now
So
listen,
bad.
if it hit though, if
It
by
ain't
some
hitting,
miracle
Miracle.
it hit, would that not be an unbelievable story?
You say, oh,
I
it's only
mean-
$1, but you know what? Shit adds up. You put $1 there. You
Oh,
put $3
stop
on
it.
the mascot. You put $5 on, the laid
Stop
man.
it.
You put,
People said the same thing about my Peacocks in Kentucky last year.
yeah. You
and
should
I
just
hit
tell
on
me,
that.
how about this?
I'm up for life on that run. Shout to the Peacocks.
Get Greg Tack on the phone. Just give him the freaking $1. Just give it to him. You bet.
Stop.
That money would go better use giving it to him. Maybe he could buy a soda while he's bowling
All
to
right.
keep himself hydrated.
All right. Cheetah Championship. Let's talk Cheetah Championship bets here. Okay. And now I would think that some of these you're going to get mad at me for, but some of these are legitimate. Frank Snodgrass. Now, you don't think Frank Snodgrass, he already made the show at the U.S. Open. The guy's been bowling good for most of the season. You don't think he can make a run in an event like a Cheetah Championship?
I'm fine with players like Snodgrass. And
Okay,
guys
$3 to win 900. Okay, I got him at plus 30,000.
Yeah.
I got PJ for $3 at plus 25,000. Okay, to win 750. Here's my best bet. Okay, this might be my best bet of the whole week, and I like this one a lot. And it started out well, and I'm expecting it to continue to go well. Kevin McCune.
I would have guessed that. You should have told me who you were gonna. I would have completely guessed that on Cheetah.
That might be my best bet of the week. I put $5 on McCune at plus 10,000 to win 505. I think he was in like third or fourth after the first 5 games.
Well, his first title's coming on Cheetah.
You understand the mindset. We both felt like he's going to win a title this year. And if he's going to win a title, where is he going to do it? He's going to do it at the World Series on Cheetah, where he's nice and relaxed, and he's got multiple shots at it. Okay. And I loved that bet. That is definitely my favorite bet that I've made thus far.
That's a good bet. I like that bet. I'm not going to make fun of that bet. I think that's a smart bet.
Okay. I also took Bill O'Neill for $5.
Save everybody time and tell you who you did it.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Kev.
He says Kevin says save all some time and just tell us who you didn't bet on.
I took Bill to win the Cheetah Championship, 5 for 130.
He's good on Cheetah, though.
He is. He's won it before. I took Kyle Sherman, defending champion, $5 for 205. He's he's coming off that hot streak of making the show at the Masters. I don't feel like he bowled all that great at the Masters, but he's coming off of that. I took Greg Tack to win the Cheetah Championship for $1 at 7 to win 750. And finally, I took shout to Bet Rivers. They have these group bets, okay, where there's basically 5 players, and each player has odds, and you have to pick who you think will finish the highest in that event out of those 5 players. So the bet I liked in that format, they had a group with Marshall Kent. This is Cheetah Championship. Marshall Kent, Wes Malott, Kyle Sherman, Francois Laveau, and Sam Cooley. And I like Sam Cooley to win that group, right? So I bet 20 on that to win 105.
So I want to bring up David's comment, because David's on to something. Mike's sitting here throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks.
That's bullshit. You want some facts on what he's asking? I'll give you facts on what he's asking, but go ahead.
Well, give us some facts then. Give people some knowledge on why you're betting the way you're betting.
Well, I told you I bet Chris Prather. Okay, that's another bet I like. Guess who was the number 1 seed in this event last year? It was Chris Prather. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I am going by track record. Kevin Williams won a title here last year, I believe. Okay, at the World Series. Kyle Sherman won a title last year at the World Series for Cheetah Championship. I'm betting on him. Kevin McCune, you're going to tell me that's not a good bet? I mean, granted, guys, I may have thrown $6 or $7 or $10 at some real long shot bets. Long shots. But it's for fun for me, okay? It's for fun. I'm blessed. I can throw away $6 or $7 and not have to worry about it.
I just love giving you shit because you actually put $1 on Greg Tack.
Okay,
that just kills me.
People laughed at me for betting on Dio Bernard last week at the Masters, and he made a deep run. So
he did, but he didn't win, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, you're right, but I still had the winner too. I had the winner too, though. So either way you want to look at it, I mean, I had the winner. So
yeah, I think it comes to strategy where you're going to really at least figure out the patterns and at least try to figure out who's going to bowl good on the patterns, even though I bowled World Series before, and on personal, experience, the patterns, yes, they play a part, but the bowling center and the tendencies of the place actually play more of a part than the patterns do. I always felt like the bowlers who bowled good in that building bowled good regardless what pattern was put out. If their bowl rolled really good in that building, a good example was South Point. not the stadium, but the bowling center before the stadium was built, when the World Series was held there every year, Belmo and Sean Rash loved that building. They used to bowl great in that building all the time, especially Belmonte. I mean, he bowls great everywhere, right? But that building specifically was really made for storm. At least for the years that I was bowling, you needed balls that were going to be really clean through the front part of the lanes and have a lot of back end. Wauwatosa, I would do what you were doing, and I would look at history in that bowling center, try to like figure out like maybe some of the long shots that one, like you said, Kevin Williams won a title, right? In Wauwatosa. To me, like I would put money on that, right? Obviously, like I'm just giving you shit, because I know I know you know what you're doing. But if I was using strategy and bowling, and I do, and I bet, and I want to look at previous history, who bowls good in that center, and then you want to take in the patterns in the length for, But ultimately, it's going to be Simo Tackett or Belmo. So
I also like to look at who's hot, and I like to look at playing styles and what guys I think are going to have a good look on a particular pattern. Like, for instance, Frank Snodgrass, look at how he made the show at the U.S. Open, throwing urethane straight through the front part of the lane. Chances are he's going to be able to play him somewhat similarly in an event like this, and it's something that he's likely comfortable with. So I don't mind putting my money on a long shot like that. So yeah, listen, I understand some people aren't going to like my bets. That's all right. It's my money. I'll throw it around the way that I want to. But I do feel confident about some of those. I do feel good about some of those bets, and I'm gonna continue to bet as the week goes on. I'm gonna put in some bets on the other two patterns, and as I said, once the odds are set for the World Championship show and all that, I'll probably have a bet or two in on that as well.
You know who? Well, you know where my money is going to go on this week? Who always ends up bowling for a title or winning a title during the World Series is Tommy Jones. Tommy Jones always finds a way to make a show or win a World Series of bowling title.
That would be a great bet for, like, it's too late at this point, but it would be a great bet at the beginning of the World Series for Bet Rivers to have odds on will bowl for a title. And you could pick guys that will, you're saying will get to a title match in the World Series, Yeah.
So I feel like some people who I would consider just that are like hot, right? And I feel like are riding a lot of momentum. I feel like Sean Rash is a super momentum type bowler. And when he starts getting hot, he starts really bowling well. I look for him to have
problem is injury.
Yeah, it's a lot of games.
Problem is injury. It's 60 games.
It is. But he bowled a lot at the Masters, and it didn't look like it really, really took him on the show. He looked great, in my opinion. Like, he bowled really good. That
well, one advantage I think that he could have in this World Series particularly is they're only bowling 5-game blocks. So you're probably not going to be in a position where you're going to have to be sliding gutter cap, lofting it over the gutter type situation, similar to the Masters where you'll probably be playing somewhat reasonable angles on a lot of these patterns, given that it's 5-game blocks with a re-oil. But yeah, I don't know. It was tough for me to take anything on him at the moment just because of the the injury. If anything, I like him in the Shark Championship. You got to be a little bit slower, playing in, maybe fading a little bit, straighter through the front part of the lane. He seems to be comfortable right now doing that. But yeah, so it's like I said, awesome to be able to bet. Awesome to be able to bet on these things, whether you like my bets or not. It's nice to be able to get some action and have some investment. Yeah. After today's block, Steven in the chat mentioned Pontus Anderson. After today's block, I was upset that I didn't put any money on him. But I'll be honest, I don't really know much about him. I put money on Karsten Hansen because if I remember correctly, there was a World Series in recent memory, and I believe it was last year, where Karsten Hansen really whacked them and put on a ridiculous performance. So I thought, well, you haven't heard his name very much throughout the year. It seems like this is his first, perhaps only shot at it. So again, wouldn't be surprised to see him do something with it.
Yeah. So two more players that I think we need to look out for. I think Jesper Svensson, I think is gonna compete for a title, and he usually
Well, if
has a
he
good
wins, it's gonna be this event, right?
yeah. And Santu, I think was the other one to look out for. That is could be competing for one of the shows. Those are the
Okay.
two players that I like, and it's for me. It's more of like players that have been kind of hanging around. That you always see and that you've been seeing in the top 10, top 20 every week.
I could
That haven't
easily
really got there.
see a Jesper Kevin McCune final.
Oh, wouldn't you love
You
that
know?
Kevin McHugh final?
Oh, I'd have to hedge that.
Um,
I'd have to
anyway,
hedge that something serious.
no, Nico writes about the Matt Ogle train. It, man, I really like Matt Ogle's game. He's having a great year.
I
Wouldn't
thought about
surprise me.
taking Ogle for the World Championship odds, but I don't know. For somebody to win their first singles title
The World
on the
Championship.
World Championship, and his odds weren't that high either. They weren't, Greg Tack type odds. So yeah, I'm really if I'm taking that situation, I'm really looking for the high odds there.
Don't sleep on Buttriff too. Buttriff always manages to make a world champ like when the majors come around and the World Series is he's always kind of hanging around, floating in there in the last show. The thing about Buttriff is Buttriff hasn't really led a tournament in a really like long time. I don't remember the last time he was actually a number one seed. I think it's probably been a couple years.
U.S.
Um,
Open, I think.
yeah, but like Buttriff always is finding a way to get like in the fourth seed, the fifth seed, and
Yeah, the
uh,
problem with him though is he gets on. You're right. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him make the World Championship show and be one of those final five guys standing. But the problem with him is that even if he's in the one seed, he misses spares. He misses too many spares, and he misses them on TV at inopportune times. And for him to win 2, 3 matches on TV, I almost feel is like impossible
feels like
because
he's
at
got to be
some
like the one
point,
seed, right?
yeah, and I think unless you get him in the one seed and he's really got it and he can strike the lights out, there's probably going to be an issue. And that's again, and his odds are not that high at all because he's one of the better guys out there, more consistent lefties out there anyway. And yeah, you're not getting great odds on him. So that would be like a $10 bet. Which again, like on what I'm doing is at the extreme high end of what I'm putting on a single player, to win anyway.
I love dumpster diving on the sports book on like the lowest odds. And seeing like who has like any kind of realistic chance. Um, Toby Sambueno has made a show. He was like plus 600 to 1. So like this is just for Scorpion Championship I'm talking about
Yeah,
too.
it would be nice.
So
It would be nice. Like that. That would be a nice bet at the beginning of the World Series, particularly. Like, will this guy make a show? Will this guy
yeah.
to make a show? This guy to bowl for a title? Those are the type of futures that I would like to see as well. But
Here's the thing is I don't like the long shots for the World Championship futures. I like the long shots for one of the animal patterns, right? Because we know the World Championship show is going
right,
to be the cream of the top, the cream of the crop,
right,
right?
right.
It's going to be the best in the world. It's going to be, Tackett, Simo, Belmonte, Tommy Jones,
Yeah,
Buttriff. I mean,
or it's going to be somebody that has a title or two and has been knocking on the door, like a Jason
Prather,
Sterner.
Sterner,
Jason
Prather,
Sterner, right?
right?
Yeah,
Like,
like I'm not surprised at all to see like either one of those guys on a show like that. A
yeah,
Maldonado. Somebody saying
Maldonado.
Maldonado shot 300. Terry says Maldonado shot 300 first game tonight after leading first 5 games today. Yeah, after his start, I was disappointed that I didn't put any money on him for the World Championship because again, that's a guy like, would you be shocked if he won it? I wouldn't be all that shocked. He's got a title or two. He's always there. He's made a few shows. He has some experience. He's led big tournaments before. So it's tough. It is. It's tough. But I agree with you though, Rob, that generally the cream's going to rise to the top in that World Championship.
Yeah, Don
So
Barrett's another one too. Don
Don
Barrett's
Barrett,
a good guy.
definitely.
Like I would not sleep on Chris Vi. I mean, anybody who's really in the top odds are usually. But to bet a really really long shot like a 600, 700 one, for the World Championship show is to me is a waste of money. I'd rather take that money and put it on just one of the top like 10 pros in the country. But shouts to Bet Rivers, man. It's like our prayers were answered. It's like we were asking for this for years. I would love to bring out our first show that we talked about why we should bet on bowling. And it's like somebody from Bet Rivers, which by the way, hey, we reached out to Bet Rivers. I would love to know who's the guy setting these odds. Is it an
Yeah, Bet Rivers,
ex-bowler?
get in
Is it a
touch with us.
computer?
We want to have them on. We want
I-
whoever's setting the odds for these bowling tournaments, whoever's creating these bets. We want to have them on this show. We
Yeah.
want a personal line to the person setting these bets because we need to help craft the bets here. Especially for if they should have reached out to us before the World Series. We could have came up with some sweep the rack specials. A couple three.
Parlays.
How about this? Like a 3-player parlay to make the show.
Oh, that'd be so.
You know what I'm saying? Like a Tommy Jones, Jesper,
EJ Tackett.
EJ Tackett, all to make a show. Oh man,
I love that.
like
That'd be
that would
sick.
be a great bet. So yeah, I would love to know that too, and I would love to get that info too, Rob. That would be
Parlays are the next thing that Bet Rivers needs to come in hot with, right? Like, or
can you pick all the matches? Right? Like, can you correctly pick? So you got a 5-man step ladder. Can you correctly pick how the matches are going to go?
Come on, that's like you win $100,000. For me, it's like, will a split get converted on a television show? Right, plus 300, right? Or
will a single spin spare be missed?
Missed.
Yeah.
Well, they have odds for shooting 300 on TV.
Right.
You could bet on that. But I mean, there's so many other things, Well, if Sean Reyes makes a show, will he balk? Minus 400. I don't know. Just cool, like oddities, right? Like odds. Would love to be able to sweep the rack section of Bet Rivers, where it's like, here are the, the crazy amount of shit that's what will happen on TV. Will like Pete Weber yell at a fan, plus 600, you know what I mean?
No, that would be minus 600 actually. Minus 600, not plus 600.
Yeah. Will someone curse? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just.
So it's early in the week. It's early in the week, but so far, like I said, got my bets in. I like what I got. I got some stupid action. I got some serious action. And I plan to kind of add to that as the week goes on, and definitely pick some winners in these other events. Looking for long shots, but I'm, again, like you said, exactly what you said, looking for some long shots, but also sticking to what I think will be the cream of the crop in certain events, to try and cover my my shots at the long odds.
Mike, let's go through some comments because we got some really good comments.
Are you sure we do?
Yeah. Dave Kopke, I hope I said that right. Is fatigue an issue this week? Will Maldonado's back hold up? Fatigue is 100% an issue this week. These guys have been bowling nonstop for months now. There's injuries all over the place. Andrew Anderson, Roy got back, is hurt. I can't imagine Chris Prather feeling great right now, right? Rash has got to be hurting. Bill's got to be hurting. I know once you get to 40, it isn't a smooth sailing. Mike, these are a lot of games. It is a young man's game, right? So these guys got to do whatever they can to keep themselves in shape and keep their bodies, their hands, their fingers, right? The cutting, the ripping of the skin. It isn't just the injuries, Mike. It's keeping your hand in shape. I mean, there's so many different things that you got to do when you're bowling this many games. It is definitely an issue. Let's see what else we got here. Nico wants to put money on Packy. Says Packies can do a lot of different things.
I don't mind that bet. Nico, his odds were rather low for my liking. So
Henry, Mike, if he knows all the Swedes and Finns on top of the leaderboard, international players are no joke. Those guys can play. That's been slowly building up, and more of them are flying overseas now to bowl. Um, how about this, Mike? Daniel Cordero. When you go to the racetrack, you bet on a few horses. It's never just one. Got to put good money on who you think will win, and then find the long shots and how you could pay huge odds for a fat payday. That's exactly my strategy. The big three: Belmo, Simo, Tackett. Three bet wants to know, is Bob Perry still alive? From my understanding, yes. Love Bob Perry.
I don't know who 3Bet is, but
Wants to know where Joe
somebody
Stillman
would
is
know.
at. Joe Stillman just came out of a social media appearance a few months ago. I saw him make a couple posts, and then he vanished again. So
He also did an interview with a website called Soft White Underbelly.
yeah, I got to check that. I still have it. And definitely, Mike,
It was
would
much darker than
for
what we did
sure.
here, but
Yeah, for sure. Mike would put money on Mike Durbin if he was bowling. I love that comment.
I would
Um,
not have money on Mike Durbin. Okay, let's be clear.
what's the over and under on Sean Rash fighting a snack bar employee, Mike?
Odds would be low. Plus 200.
Oh, that kills me. Oh, our people in our comments are the best. Um, so Mike, we got right into the World Series, but we got to talk some other things here going on, right? I didn't get a chance to do league review. We
Well,
didn't get it.
we'll also be back on Thursday,
We'll be
right?
back on
With
Thursday.
with a follow up, and I'm sure we'll do a little bit more World Series breakdown on Thursday. But yeah, let's keep it moving, right? Let's keep it moving. Let's cover some other bases for the people because we didn't do a show this past Thursday, just because there really wasn't much going on, wasn't much to talk about. League review, Rob, victory, Rob.
It's a victory. It was a victory Tuesday for me, Mike. So word got to me as soon as I hit the bowling center that, hey, go check into the bar. And I'm like, what's going on? And here it is, this like boxes on boxes of chairs and tables for my league. Now keep in mind there's 4 weeks left. Okay. So I guess better late than never. I feel like I have some kind of accomplishment for the people who are bowling league after me. That won't, because I'm not bowling there again. But yeah, they're finally gonna. I don't know when they're gonna be installed. It'll probably be way after the league's over. But Victory Tuesday, Mike. All of the hassling that I gave to Bolero, I guess, paid off. But word on the street was that they
People
actually.
say people say we never get anything done around here.
So word on the street is that they actually ordered the tables and the chairs a while ago, but they blamed it to a logistics, nightmare.
Well, they should have
Uh,
hit you up. That's what you do.
right.
They should have hit you up. You could have made that happen.
I could have made that happen, but Bolero doesn't know who to speak to about these things. Bolero doesn't know who to reach out to get things done, to make things happen. Mike, sweep the rack.
Clearly.
Sweep the rack is like the red of Shawshank Redemption. We, people. We know people to get stuff, Mike, and that's what Bolero doesn't know. They can deal with their logistics provider, but if you want things done, come see your boy. So that was my league review, 710. So that's back-to-back 700 weeks.
More importantly, though, tables for everyone.
Tables for everyone. But I do want to
The
shout
next league that comes in there and sits down and enjoys themselves sitting at a table, conversing, eating, bowling, should seriously write you a handwritten letter of thanks for your tireless efforts to get this table situation resolved at this Bolero.
my dreams do come true, Mike. I just want to say that if you work hard enough, you could accomplish what you put your mind to. Nico wants to know what this closest center I have in my new house. Another Bolero center. Hey, what do you know? The
Shocker.
monopoly of bowling. Bolero Via Linda is North Scottsdale, about 15 minutes from me. Probably won't be bowling summer. It's just way too hot, honestly, here in the summer. And Bolero doesn't do a good enough job with their air conditioning in their centers. So I don't want to bowl here in 110 degrees summer league. I'll be honest with you.
Actually, I was asking people in my Tuesday night sport thing. I was asking people whether they want to bowl during the summer like do maybe an abbreviated 6-week session during the summer. And more than one person told me, no, I don't want to do it, especially here because it's too hot and the approaches are too sticky.
100%.
And that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's just bad business by Bolero.
Well, they'll run the air conditioner when it's opportunistic for them, right? During
No,
open
but it's got to
bowling
be
and
freezing in a bowling alley in the
freezing.
summer, especially a bowling center with synthetic approaches. If you have real wood approaches, I feel like you can get away with it a little bit. But if you have synthetic approaches, you have to keep it cold because if it's not cold, they are not slidable at all. Like they do not give whatsoever. So yeah,
So,
very.
here's a piece of advice to everybody. If you're planning on bowling league or bowling a tournament and you're going to a Bolero during the summer, do yourself a favor. I swear to you, Mike, this was the greatest investment I've made for my bowling game. Is I invested in a portable fan, a battery powered portable fan, right? And I got myself a book bag or a Jansport, whatever it is, right? And I would literally, when I go from pair to pair, I would literally sit there with the fan on me, right? And you could buy these for 30, $40. You could bring a portable battery charger with you, and just put like hand right oh my hand and my face was literally on this fan, and I'm telling you that got me through some of the warmest bowling centers in a set or in an 8-game qualifying. So piece of advice, if you're really serious about bowling in the summer, bowling tournaments, carry a fan with you at all times.
No doubt. I see a lot of people doing that. My league report. We bowled on the long pattern this week. I didn't bowl great. I didn't bowl bad. I shot 610. I had a few mismakeable spares. Um, yeah, a few shots that I felt like should have struck, but did. It was one of those nights where the ones that I threw that I felt were really good, they didn't strike. And then the ones that I threw that I felt weren't very good, a lot of them did strike. And it was sort of one of those nights where I never got anything going. And 610, I probably should have won the scratch pot. I missed a couple mismakeables and definitely threw bad shots at inopportune times at certain points throughout the night. Where I think 650 was high. So I did win a doubles pot. A handicap bowler swept the singles pots, going 190 something, 2-0, and they get about 50 some pins. So they were over 250 every game, and they swept the pots, which was, I like to see that because I think it really rewards the people who don't often see success in that environment. So it was an interesting week. I think we had 16 or 18. I forget exactly how many we had. So the turnout was pretty good. We're getting ready to wrap up. I think we got this week and maybe one more week or 2 more weeks left. It's like I said, I don't think that we're going to be running it for the summer. I think we'll come back next fall. I'm probably going to bowl some other local league for the summer. Find some opportunity, or you know what? I might not even bowl league. I might just hit the training center once a week and go there and get some work in there. But competition wise, if I want to, there's definitely a couple options. I feel like I'm throwing it good. Greg Tack, when he comes back from this little adventure bowling out on tour, he's got a couple events coming up in June that I'm looking at bowling. So I'm going to try and check those out. But other than that, nothing really major on my schedule. I do feel like I'm throwing it good. It's funny to me. I shot basically the same series on the long sport that I did on the house shot when I subbed. And I actually had an opportunity to sub on Thursday. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I wanted to go. I wanted to bowl because I wanted to shut many of you up and bowl a better series on the house shot nonsense. But I was working. It was nice weather here Wednesday and Thursday, and I was working all day, cleaning, yard work, heavy duty work. I was on spring break all week, and I tore my back up. I tore my back up. My back still doesn't feel that great. I woke up on Thursday and my back was just on fire from working all day Wednesday and Thursday. Or I woke up Friday. Sorry, my back was on fire from working all day Wednesday and Thursday. So yeah, Thursday night I could not make it to bowl. There was no way I was going to be able to get that done. So yeah, like I said, it's been a good season though in terms of the sport bowling pot thing that I've been running. Participation has been pretty good. We got a lot of different people to come out. I feel like we still don't have enough anywhere close to like actually start a league or something of that nature. But I do feel like going into next year, we have a good base of people to come out on a regular basis and bowl on the sports stuff for some pots.
Yeah, no doubt. FYI, Kevin McHugh now is in second at Cheetah. His last 3 games, he shot 800. Maldonado is averaging like 260. FYI.
Go ahead. Criticize me for my bets, you dopes.
No one's criticizing you. I didn't criticize you
Go
for
ahead.
Kevin McHugh, but I criticized you for the Greg Tack bet. Like
when I cash that Kevin McHugh ticket, none of you are going to be saying nothing. And if you do say something, I'll drown you out with the sound of counting my money.
Yeah, right.
Okay?
All right, Mike. You ready to give the people what they want?
Oh, of course I am. Oh, I feel like it's been a while for worst of the week.
Yeah, because we didn't do it last Thursday, and then it's been almost 2 weeks. A lot of worst could happen on the internet in 2 weeks. So there was a smorgasbord of terrible takes. What is David saying? Shota Kawozi on fire. Is there action on Bet Rivers on him?
Yeah, they got action on everyone, David. I mean, some of it, obviously you had to get it in before the start of the tournament, but I'm sure they'll have updated odds going into tomorrow.
Yeah, Shota. You haven't seen him. He probably flew for the World Series, I'd imagine. He hasn't really been bowling or anything else, right?
What is Nico referring to? We missed the Thursday.
You did. You missed it when my brother was on. Nico never forgets.
I did.
Nico
yes.
never forgets.
Yes, absolutely.
All
That's
right, Mike.
right. That's why it's been a while for me on worst of the week. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt.
All right. Well, I got a good worst of the week here. Thankfully, this was tagged for me on Facebook by Jeff Riggles. He put up a post, and I believe it was in just in regards to the Masters and something. So this worst of the week goes to Keegan Branks. Congrats, Keegan.
Keegan.
This is by far might be the worst take I've ever read this year, this PBA year. So his first comment was, I'm sorry, the way he acted in the title match was inappropriate. Only PDW can do it better. I can understand if it's his first title or first major. So he's speaking in regards to Anthony Simonson. Someone responds to him and writes, well, what was inappropriate? And Keegan Branks responds, the way he celebrated. That's my worst of the week, is because how can you sit there on the computer, on Facebook, criticize a 25 or 26-year-old kid who won his 5th major and is literally doing it in a dominant fashion at the Masters the way he did it? For him to show emotion and to celebrate after winning that tournament, what do you want him to do? Mike, what Keegan, what do you want Anthony to do? Grab the trophy and just like show no emotions or nothing? Good Lord. I couldn't even. I wanted to get into it with this guy on Facebook because of how dumb and how bad of a take this is. Come on, man. Let them show emotions. It's awful. So yeah, so that's my worst of the week. Keegan Branks, if you know him, tell him that I specifically said that might be the worst take of the year, and he needs to let let the players show their emotions.
Zangie nominating Tom Clark's penmanship for worst of the week at Holler House. If you watched that last night,
I did.
Was he
Did
the
you
one
watch it?
keeping score and writing the names on the board? Because if so, yes, it looked like a 3-year-old wrote it.
Did you watch the Holler House deal last night?
I did.
What
Yeah, I
was
watched
that?
the whole thing. It was pretty cool. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, definitely different, but like I mean, listen, it just showed you how good these guys are. Like you watch them practice. The most interesting thing to me was this: you watch them practice and warm up, and they had no clue what was going on. The ball's going all over the lane. Belmonte picked 2 at one point. Tommy Jones picked 3 off the right. Yeah, it was just all over the place, right? And then Rob, the match starts, and boom, they both go front 4 or front 3 and front 4. And Belmo threw 1 crossover, but the rest of them were dead flush. And the hands were oiled by the lanes were oiled by hand, which was really interesting. Listen, one of the things it showed me is like maybe there should be more of that kind of creativity or variance in bowling. Maybe we need some patterns where they're oiled by hand and they're not so distinctly defined. And they're a little bit more challenging. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. It was an exhibition match for all intents and purposes, and it was kind of awkward because the area was so small that they were in. And not only were Belmo and Tommy Jones there bowling, but Chris Barnes was there doing commentary. $2 Phil and Jeff Goodger were there broadcasting. Tom Clark was there just hanging out, looking pretty and keeping score. And then they had like Simo and the rest of the guys sitting on the steps leading up to the bar where all the people were upstairs, all the fans were. So yeah, it wasn't the best match I've ever seen, but was definitely interesting to watch, and it was cool. It was a cool environment to see them bowl in that. But okay,
So, real quick, where I practiced for Saginaw Valley in college, our practice facility was in a church with above ground ball returns and hand oiled lanes. We didn't have an oil machine. So when we asked for the lanes to be oiled, our coach, Dan Dorian, he used to go and literally the mop and the spray gun and used to oil the lanes for us. What a crazy time that was. And when you had other schools that had their own oil machines and had their own facilities, here we are with the mop and the spray gun practicing on above ground ball returns, and they're a lot tougher to a certain extent when you're bowling on that shit, especially with the above ground ball returns, because you can't move left on that. Like you literally have to you can't kick it. You just have to figure out a way to maneuver around it.
yeah. The only other place I had seen that done was there were 2 places actually. One was at the lanes at Dick Ricker's bowling camp in Ithaca. They oiled the lanes by hand. I remember that pretty
They did.
distinctly.
Yeah, yeah. They didn't have the above ground ball returns, but they did oil squirt.
Right.
They did, right.
And then the only other
Ides lanes.
okay, yeah, that's it. And the only other place that I saw that done was there was a tournament one time. I forget the tournament director's name. He used to run a heavy pin tournament at Carolier every year, and his name escapes me right now.
It wasn't Semez, was it?
No. I would remember that one. And they ran a tournament at Mount Holly, T-Bird Mount Holly, and they wanted to put out a reverse block. And the way they did it is they stripped the lane, and then they used a spray gun to take out like 7 to 7. And they sprayed the front of the lane, and they left the rest of the lane stripped. And yeah, I bowled on those actually to like test them out, and they were extremely hard. But yeah, so okay, my worst of the week. Let's see. My worst of the week. It's from a little bit ago, but it's from a new source. This might be a first time source winner on worst of the week here. It's from the Bowl TV chat group.
Ooh,
Okay, Mike Flanagan might get upset at me for giving a worst of the week. John Vargo, that's it. Ernest Lukacs has the name. John Vargo, that is it. That's who ran that tournament in Mount Holly with the reverse block. Yes, he used to run heavy pin tournament at Carolier as well.
Hmm.
John Vargo, legendary tournament director out here on the East Coast. Okay, Bowl TV chat group. Worst of the week, Jim Bale. Jim Bale, Beyel. Jim, my guy, congratulations. You've won worst of the week. Here's why. Here's his post. I quote,
Congrats, brother.
Dear PBA, any chance we can have some rules for fans sitting behind bowlers during the telecast? Like no signs, no drinking beer, no distracting movement? I'm almost wishing the Tournament of Champions finish was all on Bowl TV. Jim, that's a shit take, Jim. Okay? You're dope for that take. That's why I'm giving you worst of the week. It was the worst thing I read on the internet in terms of bowling in a long time. In fact, we need the opposite, Jim. Have you ever watched darts, Jim? Bring up a darts telecast on your YouTube account, okay, and watch that. That's more like what we need. We need hypeness, enthusiasm, drinking, rowdiness, people getting behind a player and making it known that they're behind that player. We need fan reaction to the things that happen while the match is going on. We need loud and vibrant announcers filling the people in, the fans in on what's going on. We need all that. Okay. Jim wants people to be like video game fans. Okay, that just sit and do nothing and are just blending into the background. And no, that's not what we need. We need Bayside fans. We need fans with real passion. Maybe they don't always have to show it in the same way that the Bayside fans do. There's different ways of showing that passion, but we need fans with real passion. Jim, terrible take. Worst take I've read on bowling on the internet in quite some time. That's why I gave you worst of the week.
Maybe my guy and your guy are best friends for worst of the week.
Yeah, definitely the same theme for worst of the week this week, right? I'm actually, when I'm done here, I'm going to go in the Bowl TV chat and I'm going to announce that Jim Bale won worst of the week. And I'm going to see if perhaps he's there watching. Maybe I can give him his award and tell him what a dope take he had.
That's great.
Lumber Flexual saying we need everything short of people throwing random shit onto the approach. I agree. Lumber Flexual, I generally agree with that statement. I think that you want to know what I thought about? I seriously had to, because the PBA is coming to Carolier, okay? And I want to be at the shows. And I would love to like get involved with the PBA in kind of crafting what the show looks like as it's going on. And at Carolier, what I would love to see is I would love to see a mass of people in the back, all drinking, having a good time, a little rowdy, just on the edge of being too rowdy, okay? And here was what I thought, like, what if you had a PBA event where the whole crowd's drinking and the winner does something amazing to win, okay? And then everybody throws their drinks in the air. Like, did you ever see that meme celebration of the bar, of the people in the bar watching the TV, and they all explode at the same time and throw their drinks in the air? I would like to see that happen in a PBA tournament. I would really like to see that type of reaction from a PBA crowd, and just see what type of viral reaction we could get out of something like that.
Did you see last year during Waste Management when the guy hit a hole in one on
hole
16?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when they were all just throwing beers.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah. I was actually there that day with my dad, and we actually left we were there watching. We left that event 3 hours earlier than that hole in one happened.
Bad call on your part.
But we weren't on hole 16. I mean, you got to be there waiting hours to get in. But it's a crazy party there. Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of funny. I don't know. There would be too many old grumpy people that would not like to see that. If this guy's getting pissed about drinking a beer,
we need to push those people out of bowling. Like out of the spotlight of fandom in bowling. We need to show that there's
social media. Everyone's in the fan light. It doesn't matter. That's the problem with social media.
We need to show that bowling has a younger, hipper, more aggressive fan base following it. And I'm just saying these are the scenes that I would like to see. So I disagree with this guy. That's why I gave him worst of the week.
Well, the problem is with bowling is you really can't afford to push any fans out of the sport right now. Like you need all the fans.
You don't. I'm not saying push them out of the sport. I'm saying push them out of the spotlight. I want to see young people drinking, having a good time. I want to hear a little music playing in the background.
Well, during the shows?
A little
Even
bit.
during the majors?
Faint. Nah, maybe not the majors. Maybe not any shows either. You know what? Maybe I can live without the music. But I want to hear chatter. I want to hear chatter. I don't need silence, okay? I want to hear some chatter. I want to hear some yelling. I want to hear, as the guy gets up on the approach, I want to hear, hey, it's a spicy meatball. I know somebody was, I saw a meme of somebody yelling that out every time somebody teed off at the Masters this week, You know
what's funny about Mike is a traditionalist, but he's not. He's like a half traditionalist. Like he doesn't want things to change in some aspects of it, but wants to see people yelling and
I'm a traditionalist in the sense of the competition.
Right.
But I am not a traditionalist when it comes to the presentation or the fans or the entertainment value. Right. I'm not a traditionalist in that sense at all.
I'm still trying to figure this out.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I want it to be a little bit rowdy. So, all right, Rob, give the people what they want. Final thoughts, Rob.
Not really, man. People were asking in the chat how my new house is doing. I love it. It's amazing. I mean, what's not great about having your own house that's 5 times bigger than the apartment you're living in? But yeah, my league is coming to an end here in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Look for me for big things coming this year and the end of this year and next year when it comes to my bowling. That's the nugget I'm leaving for everybody. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Some people might, but it's going to be some very interesting things that I'm going to be putting out coming in the next 6 months or so. I'm working on some stuff. So Mike doesn't even know what I'm talking about.
I don't know how comfortable I am with not knowing about that, honestly. I don't know. It sounds
some spicy
makes me uncomfortable. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I should be plugged in on that, no?
Yeah, I've only told a few people, so but no, I'm not I'm actually on hiatus now. It's not really because I still bowl league, so it's me personally.
But he's not bowling league next year, he said.
I'm not. Well, not summer.
Okay.
Not summer.
Oh, but winter.
We'll see if I can get into some doubles or triple sport league that's closer to my house. That'll be the only league I'll bowl in is if a doubles or triple sport league that starts at like 6:30 that I can get out of there by like 8:30.
Okay. My final thought is best week in bowling. Plenty of action coming up. Lots to tune into. I'm going to log off here. I'm going to jump on and watch the end of this qualifying block here. Interesting that after tomorrow we'll already know a top 5 for the show. I kind of like that. And yeah, we'll see how the rest of the week progresses. We'll be back on Thursday to check in with everybody, give a little league report, give a little World Series update, talk a little bit about where our bets are at and what else we've put in at that point. And check back in with us. All right, hit us up on social media. He's Brooklyn Rob 11. I'm at the 215th. Twitter is mainly where we're at. Email us if you have anything to say. sweeptherack@gmail.com. And listen, we'll catch up with everybody Thursday. All right.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, guys. See you. Peace.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.